All right, welcome to Refrigerator Diaries. Hashtag What's Your RD? Keeping the people informed and engaged. I'm here with co-host Chris Connections,
What's good?
and we've got a very, very special guest in the building tonight here. Author of 3 books now, soon to be,
Yes,
as well as world famous, respected, heavily sought after, the man with the plan, Chef Max Hardy. How are you?
what's going on? How's everything?
Thank you for having us.
Oh man, thanks for having me.
Yes,
That was
baby.
fun.
Man, honestly, too, I remember the first time I came across you, I was like, man, this is dope. We got somebody who is not only putting on for the chef community, but also very, very much including the social component of business into the business. Right from the beginning, you've always been somebody who, even as you are like growing and moving, you're still including that, you're still being inclusive with the knowledge, inclusive with the information.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's important. Like as chefs and business owners, I think that's a part of our give back out the gate. So whatever I could do to really push that and help in that arena, I think is really good for the community, good for the people, and then good for business, man. Keep you honest.
So, like, at the end of the day, right? We were just in a picture. I consider you one of the top chefs. You, the first book with Amare, in terms of just discovering what's utilization in the body, and then the second with Brother Marley here, and right now, I'd probably say you right at the top chef. Period. Right.
I mean, I wouldn't say that you in the room, so yeah.
Well, yeah.
Period.
Right.
Well, you also congratulations, because you also got won some awards here.
Yeah.
From a news publication, so that's a big deal too as well.
Yep. No, it is important, man, and I think when I said I wanted to be a chef and start going to be a chef, I was like, I got to be one of the top chefs out there in the country, and so that's what I've been trying to do, just gunning for that. And this year we got named top 16 best in the country by the New York Times, which was a big honor. So we just continue rocking. I think we got a long way to go, but some of those accolades, to truly tell the testament of how hard, the work I've put in over the years. And so it's been good.
Man, I love that, though. Like, when you set a goal and you go after it and you
yeah.
just get it.
Yeah. No, and that's important, man. Like, that's one of my things. I don't really have New Year's resolutions or whatever. Just every year, I'm like, all right, here's the goals that I'm going to do throughout the year and, the week.
Knock them boys off.
And knock them out, yeah.
What brought you back to the city?
I was in New York, man. I got, burnt out of being in New York, rocking at that level for so long. It was like, all right, let's get back to family, get back to my true background, and I just wanted to come back to a city where I can get some love and show some love from all the things I've learned all over the country. Okay. How unfair would it be to me if I didn't come back to the city and bring some culinary passion and love to the city I was from?
What's the biggest difference you would say between those two cities and just chefing and working?
Talking about Miami, I started in Miami, then it went from Miami to New York, a little bit of LA.
So that's some huge weather shifts.
Yeah, no. So
you went from cold to hot, cold to hot.
Right. The difference is, I think the passion and love from New Yorkers in the culinary world is a lot different, right? Here, you ask a guy when you walk in the kitchen where his knife kit at, and he looking at you crazy, or where his chef jacket at, he looking at you crazy. In New York City, like, they come in that bitch with a whole, toolkit worth of, knives and equipment. So they just take the passion and the skill.
The custom apron and everything.
Yeah, it's a different passion, So that's
real.
something I think that, that we're struggling with as trying to become that food mecca. But something, I think, Godwin and I and some of the other chefs in the city of Detroit need to really bring back.
Yeah, and outside of it being one of the coldest winters, supposedly it's been looking pretty mild out here.
Yeah, right. Yeah, no.
Yeah. So you you just mentioned Miami. So as I understand, you came up in Florida, right? You got into culinary, but with the culinary programs in high school, and then from there, you what was the first I guess kind of celebrity-ish thing that you did? Like was
Man, so when I knew I wanted to be a personal chef, I had said something in high school. I played, high school basketball, and then they interviewed me one day before a big game.
Were you dunking on them?
I was.
Okay.
I was. I was 45 pounds lighter, but I had said, I wanted the media and the news knew I wanted to go to culinary school and be a chef, and so I had said I wanted to be a personal chef for Michael Jordan.
Okay, dope.
But it was almost at the end of his career, when I was getting out of high school. So it was like, damn, he'll be
got to find somebody else.
Yeah. So, but I said that my senior year in high school, and then it's crazy how it came full circle becoming, chef for Amari. But to answer your question, the first person I cooked for that was, notable.
Speak your goals into existence.
Yeah, but I was in culinary school at the time, and it used to be a book where you go, and it had like jobs for the week. So if you're looking for a chef, you'll call Johnson. We'll say, hey, I'm looking for a caterer this weekend. I'm looking for a chef to come over and cook in my house.
Yeah.
So I knew the book came out on Thursday for the weekend. So I'll go and I'll take the whole book and I'll go through it and tear all the job listings out before anybody else got to it. And so so I went and did that one day. And it was for John Walsh from America's Most Wanted.
Are you serious?
Yeah. So it was like a $2,500 gig.
Okay.
I didn't have a bank account. I was only 19, 20, so I didn't have a car. I was old enough to buy liquor. So the party was a cocktail party. So it was like, hey, we need wine, we need some champagne, we need service staff.
Yeah.
I'm living in the dorm room, so I put a note on the dorm room door that said closed for renovations for the day. So I went in there to cook. I made a menu out of my culinary book. I asked my RA, can I borrow his car? I hired girls from the school that were servers.
Get it done.
And man, we made it happen. My mom got the wire. I told them to wire it to this account. It was my mom's account. She shot me the money, and she bought the wine. Right? So that's how it kind of started. And that's kind of where the passion and hustle came in from, wanting to be the best in this arena. So,
to all you people out there putting out those motivational quotes and meme pictures, those quotes don't work unless you do. Let that be a lesson.
Right.
Just started talking right here. You have to get out there and do it.
Yeah, no, for sure, you have to, man. That's a part of how do you build your success.
Absolutely. So then you came, went in, and did you like? I know you and Amari are close now, right? You guys are pretty tight.
Yeah,
we had a book together.
Yeah, no, we had a pretty good relationship, working client relationship, and then we developed just the cookbook, and then we did so much together. I helped him with his foundation, and a lot of travel appearances, and it was so much, and like it became. His life become your life become his life, because you're there every day. You're the first person he sees when we wake up, and I'm the last one he sees when he go to bed at night. So, that we became really good friends, and now today we still chat. Today he called me, asked me could I call and see if he can get in culinary school. He want to be a chef now, so but that's fun. That's how you relationships develop and go.
I got you.
So, what projects you currently working on right now?
Man, we got a couple in the works. We're working on a new restaurant. I can't release the name of it yet, but it's coming. That'll be launched by April, May.
Where's it at?
It's here.
It's here?
Yep.
Okay.
It's going to be in Harmony Park.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wait, where at? Can you say? Can you say?
Not yet.
Got a little interest.
Right. I've been getting phone calls for the last month. Like, chef, we waiting for it. I'm like, I know, it's coming. So we got that, and then we're working on a cookbook, a new one, kind of just to tell the story of the Motor City through food. Like how, the migration from the south to the north. And what did that do for the city of Detroit? Like everybody just know music and automotives, but I think kind of telling a story through music, food, and automotive is in a way. And then I wanted to bring in some of the chefs that's been here, right, and pay homage to them and have them in the book and give them some shine, let them do some recipes that, that was true significant to Detroit.
Okay. Shout out to Godwin.
Yeah. So, because I think that's important, man. People always say like, Chef Max just got here and, he's killing the game. But it's been guys that's been here a long time, doing their thing, right?
Whoever made the Maurice salad.
Yeah, right. Yeah, no. And so, so I want to include some of those chefs in there and give them some due and then shine and, show them like, all right, shit, if I can come write a cookbook, you can too. So we got that. I'm releasing the spice line next week. So we got about 42 different spices that we'll be releasing.
You know where at?
Yeah, so it'll house on Amazon out the gate.
Okay.
And then Whole Food, Fresh Market, all those stuff that'll be international.
Okay.
And then some of your local shops, and then of course you can buy here at Coop and all the restaurants and so forth. So
okay.
Yeah, so we working, man. We got a couple things out there.
Okay.
I see. That's what I'm talking about. Right?
Right.
I would like to grab some of those spices when they're available.
Yeah, no, for sure. It's really cool because it's going to be pretty much like Caribbean, but really getting depth. Like, so there'll be an African line, there'll be a Caribbean line, there'll be a Latin line, a Southern line. So just kind of give you different.
You touching on all the different cultures.
Yeah, no, because that's I just think that's important, and kind of just take you on if you can't go to some of these countries and you cooking kind of takes you on that ride. So
right,
yeah.
No, absolutely, man. So what I may have asked this. What actually? How'd you and Amari meet?
One night I was cooking for Fabulous. And
so casually.
I know, did he know? I was cooking Fabo one day. Yeah, and Amari walked up, and I was.
Yeah, and so like his agent was there, and he was getting ready to go out and do an event, and his agent called and said, "Hey, chef, Amari Stoudemire's looking for someone to cook for him tonight." And I was like, "Yeah, okay, cool, no problem." I was like, "But it's already 11 o'clock." He's like, yeah, he's not going out to 1, so he wants you to come over to the house and drop dinner. So I was already headed home, so I rushed to the store and grabbed some stuff, and we already had some stuff on the truck. And we got there and made a 5-course meal for 10 guys, and I really didn't even talk to him much that night. I was talking to his agent and some of the other guys. Rudy Gay was there. Paul
Rudy
Pierce
Gay?
there. Yeah,
Paul Pierce?
Yeah, it was like a lot of guys
some
there.
Hitters up in there.
It was some big timers there. And man, we stayed in touch after that night. And then about 6 months later, they called and said, "Chef, would you be interested in coming to LA and cook for him while he's training?"
That's a good ass meal right there.
Yeah. So I got the call to come out there. I shot out there and cooked for him for 7 days. And this was the time when the big three was trying to figure out, where they were going. So it was Amari, Wade, LeBron. They were all trying to figure out, what they're going to do, what kind of deal that's put together. And so every day it was a different team he was meeting with. And so I was just cooking for that. And while he was training. And the last day I approached him like, hey, let's talk about, me being your personal chef. And he's like, shit, that's down. Let's talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
And then about a week later, I got a call like, Amari wants you to move to New York. We signed to New York. And I'm like, okay. And they put some bread on the table. And I was like, I'm out.
So you were with him for about five, 6 years?
Yes, I was with him 5 years, 6 years, but 4 years straight through, and then off and on for a year. As my company started, building, I kind of scaled back a little bit, but so it was good.
What was the bag like? Can you tell us?
No, because our gonna come and get me. No, no, it was good, man. A lot of people want to be personal chefs, and when you get to that personal chef mark, you're 200 plus, and so so you start making a few dollars.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's something to shake to.
Right, right. But for me, it was like, all right, you're in the Mecca, you get an opportunity to run around with, $100 million man at the time was pretty cool. Every night you had a different event, different people coming over every night. you walk in the house and it's all kind of celebrities there, and having dinner and kicking it. So it becomes really fun and different. So, but no, good times.
So how did that work exactly? Would you just be cooking for primarily him, or he always just had a crew that you cook for?
No, so it's his family. Before he was married, it was just pretty much him and the assistant and the bodyguard, and then it became where it was him and the family, and then the assistant and the bodyguard. So like 6 people.
Okay.
Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Some days it was a game day, just breakfast and lunch. We would normally go to dinner afterwards, but after the game. But
so would it be like a surprise, or you just had menus made out and he picked for the menu? Or
so I would normally submit a menu on Sunday.
Okay.
And so here's the menu for the week. Or this is kind of my vision for the week. We're gonna do Asian one day, Italian one day.
Okay.
So I'll lay it out like that. Just because you think 3 meals a day, 6 days a week. That shit can get boring.
Right.
Yes, that's what I was thinking. Like,
and for me, man, like you think you're doing that 300 days, a year.
Right.
Like, that's a lot of creativity. So,
that's all it would seem. That's what I was thinking. Like, man, I go home and I can't even think of what to cook for myself half the time.
Right.
I
Let alone professionally for somebody.
Right. I gotta give you your props.
Thank you.
It's difficult to be creative. Like, I can't write anything after leaving the restaurant, and you like writing books and like doing stuff. So
you know what? Because that's like for me, when I did the first book, it was like, all right, when I'm cooking for them, I'll just write those notes when I finish cooking. Right?
That's smart.
Yeah. So as soon as I finish cooking, I'll just have my laptop there, and I'm like, okay, I made sea bass and da 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 da, and then I come back and do the same thing for lunch, and then come back and do the same thing for dinner. So you're thinking you're writing, but by the time I get home, all I'm doing is just tightening up, and next thing you know, you got 100 recipes in 2 weeks.
All right.
But no, it is tough, and that's why it took me so long to write this third book, because I was like kind of in a creative funk, like damn, like what I'm gonna do next, So I was like, all right, do I do a Caribbean book? Do I do a weed cookbook? Do I do a vegan cookbook? Like, what I'm saying, what's next? And so, and I'm always trying to find the hottest trends and what's relevant to really write a cookbook, because books don't really do that well anymore. They do well online, but nobody's really going to buy books anymore. Not like that. So it's more for marketing and
I got you.
next level.
Hey, anything you can sell is a good thing.
Right, yeah.
So we're
product
gonna
out there to be good.
All right, we're going to take a quick break here, and when we come back, we're going to find out a little bit about some of your food experiences here. We're going to go into a little bit about what you cooked, who you cooked for, and a little bit more when we return on Refrigerated Diaries. Dun, dun, dun. It is good. It's a good flow so far.
Yeah,
A lot of content.
Y'all got a nice little
It doesn't feel still.
little interview going on right
Yeah,
here.
You got a lot in, yeah.
Yeah.
Smooth though.
Yeah.
I know.
Might as well. I need to get in the pic with the guys before I get out of here. Man. Y'all doing good things, man. I like the whole vibe, man. I gotta come back.
You got to bring some music. You got some music?
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm supposed to be emailing.
I was gonna say we can play it right now. We can
Let's
put
do it. We can play right now.
Yeah. You gonna email it to Ellen?
Yeah, email it.
Okay, I can. As long as it's an MP3 or a WAV file.
Yeah, I got MP3s. You want the clean version or the
Clean
version?
Yeah, clean version. I'm glad you got clean version. Some
But
people.
I could write on just so I can pass it down.
Yeah.
Oh man. Oh, if you guys take pictures, can you make sure y'all tag my Instagram?
Yeah. What is it?
Yeah,
Chris Connections.
Chris, one day, man, we gonna make a thing where we got Chris Connections and then Chris Sessions.
Chris Sessions. Hey, Chris Sessions ain't bad though.
I don't know
That
where,
sounds
I
like
don't
a
know-
whole nother thing
I
though.
don't know where that.
Is
that
Chris
came-
Sessions a person?
Chris Connections. Oh no, I
Chris
don't know.
Sessions is a person, though, I think. Somebody Sessions.
Will Sessions is Will Sessions. They're a band. They used to do the once a month late night parties.
Okay,
I don't know why I keep saying Chris Sessions though.
Maybe that just needs to be, a show.
That's the email address.
Oh, okay, boom.
No, it's Chris Connection. I think.
Hello, now this is Chris Connection. No, this is Chris Sessions. Back.
Chris Chris
Is it a
Connections
Z at the end?
and Chris Sessions could be like a thing that Chris Connections does. So you're like Chris Connections, Chris Sessions.
We're back with Chris Sessions. Tell me what your issue is, and I can handle it.
Is it the first one?
Yeah. Trying to build it up right now.
Yeah.
So do you have any awkward food experiences and excellent food experiences?
Oh yeah.
No names when you tell a story.
Yeah.
I'm telling
Of you cooking or
everybody
eating?
everything.
Eating, like as a guest.
Oh, okay.
Guest experiences. There's one, a gentleman was like, we're at a coffee shop,
Hey, what's your
That's for,
what's your Instagram?
Cafe Olette.
Moonrunner Vague.
He goes, we can't do that. I'm like, well, it wasn't me. It was a brother Rudder. Right? He goes, okay. Do you have hot water?
Which one is it? Moonrunner what?
Moonrunner
Do you
Vague,
have
VEG?
coffee?
I thought that was you.
It's like, can I get a
Yeah.
latte?
Partner on that Rich too.
It's like, yeah, you can do all that. He was like,
I don't
all
follow
right.
you.
Well, let me get this Cafe Olette.
You have the music set over?
Yes, I sent it over.
Okay, I'm just waiting on. There it is.
Take give me a nice little. What am I doing? I ain't got to work the phone.
When do you want me to play this?
We can play it. Can we play it? Yo. What up? Can we play it like during this commercial break?
Sure, we can do that.
And that way, when we come back
So
from
we
the
get a
commercial
picture,
break.
we get a good one. You
3-minute song?
Oh, I mean, not the whole song. Just
I
like a
gotta pick
little.
with my guys.
You want me to start it right now?
GLD and Max. You know.
Just for like the show, can we just have like a clip of it play during the commercial break as the commercial break?
We're going live.
Moonrunner Vega.
Moonrunner Vega. Yeah, Vega.
And then that way
Vega,
we can come
Moonrunner
back.
Vega.
We can
Yeah,
just
Moonrunner
say, like, hey,
Vega.
that was.
Oh,
Vega.
okay, I
Say
get
you're
it.
ready to come back. I'll cue up the song and let it play for a bit, and then you just start talking when you want to get back on.
Okay,
I'll fade
cool.
out for you.
So we're gonna do like a quick 15, 20-second play of the song here.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna be like, yo, that was.
Okay, bet.
And then.
My jeweler keep the day and day. Change the text for all you see is light and sky blue fragment. We the real
Yeah,
How long is the interview anyway?
solid pistols and purses. You don't see the flash.
So what are you gonna
You double your ends without.
What's the rap name?
Okay, yeah, my rap name is Vega. You know, so my
Got it out the
Instagram
mud, now
is
we-
Moonrunner Vague. You know,
Back, tap in. This how you double your ends without
I sent
taking
over,
scratch.
A beat from a man from Germany, Tricky Trips. He sent me some beats from Germany, Tricky Trips. This is
Do you want us to shout him out?
yeah, I want to
Okay.
shout Tricky Trips out.
Tricky Trips. All right,
And
so
from Germany, and you know me, of course, you know.
yeah, Tricky Trips, and then
Sorry.
Vega.
Do you plan on talking on the show for this next half?
Actually, I don't want to take anybody's segment.
Yeah.
You know, of course, I have a lot to say, but I will definitely hold.
Yeah,
You know, it's not my
we'll
time
just
tonight.
yeah. I appreciate that. We just gonna give you a quick shout out. Like,
Yeah,
yo,
of course.
that was brother Vega. Shout out to what was his name?
Tricky Trips.
Tricky Trips. I'm gonna
Germany.
write that down.
The name of the song is Chandelier Streetlights. If you want to know that. As
Yeah,
well.
let me
Is he
get
coming
that.
back?
Yeah, I'm coming back.
You coming back to another
Yeah,
thing
of
with
course.
this? You don't want to just tease it like you about to come back. Just
Well, no,
music
because
from Vega. What?
we're gonna just do like, hey, this is music from Vega.
Okay. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you got it.
Moonrunner Veg.
Is it
Instagram.
cool? Is it cool if I go live too on my phone?
Yeah, you could do that.
All right, bet.
Yeah,
Well, I
Moonrunner-
wanted to go. I was about to go live. I didn't want to catch your convo.
Oh yeah, fucking catch everything.
Moonrunner Veg, and then
Everything I give it.
Trippy Trips,
Tricky
Tricky Trips,
Trips.
Tricky Trips.
Would you be going live on Facebook or Instagram? I was doing stories.
Who gave him that name? He made that name
How do you-
himself.
oh, but okay.
I'm figuring it out, man.
Yeah,
And it
no,
worked?
that should be.
It's
What's
just
the name of the song?
Chandelier Streetlights.
Chandelier Streetlights. Chandelier Streetlights. All right. Cool. So we gotta do a quick little shout out. Yeah, tease it out, and then we're gonna jump right back into the interview here.
Awesome.
All right. Music cueing.
Got it out the mud, now we can get them sick. Used to bust a bag down so I can sell them nicks. niggas tried to kill my dreams, but they was never rich.
All right. So that was Chandelier Street Lights by the Brother Vega.
I like that.
Beats, shout out to the Beats, Tricky Trips, and you can locate the Brother Vega on Instagram, Moonnerveg, MOONRUNNERVEG. All right, check us out. We always love supporting, and the brother's gonna be on for a future episode of Refrigerator Diaries here.
Yes, sir.
So let's get back into it. Here we're with the world-renowned Chef Max Hardy.
What's the dilly?
What is up, brother?
Hey, man. It's good to be here.
Two books down, one book to go. Restaurant on the way. Restaurant in way right now, right?
Yeah.
Doing well.
Yeah.
Talk to us. So how do you keep all this together?
Man, every day I wake up and I just thank God I can keep it together. But just having a good team. And really just having, a good support system and keeping the right people around you to keep you positive, keep you pushing.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's, half the battle is having good people around you, to give you good energy, keep you positive, keep you pushing.
I co-sign that hard.
Right. Yeah, no, that's important.
That energy is a big one,
Oh,
too.
man.
Energy is the king.
Yeah,
It is.
Yeah. No, when you have people that's, mentally, drowning you, it's hard for you to make it back from that. So I try to just kind of, keep it together and like that way.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So what would you say your end goal is then at the end of the day? What do you want to end up with? You have your team, your restaurants.
Yeah, man, I say, people always ask me, and I'm like, well, I want to be the Black Emeril Lagasse, right?
Okay.
And so that's the end goal, to do everything I possibly could do in this field.
Okay.
Restaurants, books, knives,
TV shows.
Traveling all over the world, and just impacting culinary school, so I just want to do it all. Anything I can put my hands into in the culinary world, then that's where I want to go with it.
Oh, okay. So do you see yourself, who do you see as your rival? Like, if you had to have a cook-off, a little competition, who would that be?
Damn. Rival. I don't want to say rival. I mean, who I would love to probably battle.
Yeah.
Bam.
I would probably say.
Emeril Lagasse.
I would say Emeril, but like, you know what I'm saying? I think Emeril's, he's older now. You know what I'm saying? So I'll say this: who I would love to be in the kitchen with and just cook and just go, have some fun with.
Yeah.
It would probably be Emeril, Bobby Flay, Marcus Samuelson.
He's coming here.
Yeah, if I had to battle somebody and like who you gonna battle for the chip?
Who you gonna battle for the chip?
I would go head over Mark.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
You talking about probably the most accomplished Black chef right now. You know what I'm saying? So I think if I'm gonna go for it, I'm gonna go for it.
I feel you though.
So we are on the Refrigerator Diaries. We gotta get behind the food with you here. Why don't you tell us a little bit about some of these food experiences? Most awkward food experience and most excellent food experience.
Most excellent food experience. I got a chance to do the release of Douce before Douce came out, before the world saw it.
Oh, straight up?
Yeah, I was in Cognac.
I'm a Douce drinker.
Yeah, I was in Cognac at the Chateau where they produced it at. And I was able to, do a dinner for them and just kind of do a whole tasting of Douce. But Grand Marnier is my drink, so I went to the Grand Marnier factory, and I had lunch and dinner there. And so it's a 12-course dinner, everything infused with Grand Marnier. From appetizers all the way to to the dessert course. It's all infused with Grand Marnier, and you drinking Grand Marnier during the time. So it could have been I was drunk because I had to drink, so many rounds of Grand Marnier.
12 courses though.
Yeah, 12 courses, man. It is really, it's crazy.
Man.
Yeah. So
I need that though in my life.
that's probably one. And then I had a chance to represent the U.S. and in Dubai for a whole month. So I went to the UAE and I went to different cities, Al Ain, Abu Dhabi, Dubai, and so each one I was hitting different, whatever their markets were. So when I got to Abu Dhabi, man, they had this market that's probably a mile long, a seafood market, and you go pick up your best, your freshest seafood or whatever you want, and you take it to a restaurant, they fry it, grill it, however you want. And just never having anything that fresh right out the water, and stuff still alive. Yeah, so that was probably my two favorite things. My worst food experience, I probably in New York, just seeing and really knowing that New York has so much amazing food. So when you get a bad meal in New York, it's like, what the fuck? Like, because like
in New York they post the letter grades are posted, right? So you see
So
try before you buy.
Just going to pizza place and they open the pizza oven, there's a fucking rat in the pizza oven.
Oh no!
Like that was like, oh my gosh, come on, like
New York is known for that stuff though, like don't they?
No,
yeah, but
nasty out there.
Yeah, but you can't have it in your pizza oven.
I
right?
know, right?
That's a little. it might not have been their fault.
They know.
But yeah, that was probably
trash on the streets in New York. Is all I'm saying.
It's
the sidewalk for
right.
Yeah,
That's the flavor in the bagels.
right.
That they do have the best bagel in the world. So
I know the one time I went out to Italy and I didn't know how their food was there.
Yeah.
So when I got some pizza, it didn't have no sauce on it.
Oh yeah.
Threw me completely off. It had sauce, raw vegetables,
Yeah.
and I was like, man, this is the worst pizza I ever tried in my life.
Yeah, but you ask them, they'd be like, oh, this is amazing because we so used to, Hungry Howie's or
yeah, it's so
whatever
much
pizza.
more with our stuff. But man, see, I just wasn't expecting that.
Yeah. No, and because they like, oh wow, the dough. Everybody's so caught up in the dough, not the sauce and
The dough
the
is
fresh cheese and the fresh mozzarella. So
I don't know. I grew up here, so
right. Give them pizza.
I need the meat.
Right.
I need
Little
about
Caesars.
3 to 4 different meats on there at least.
Right.
Yeah.
Some onions.
Yeah.
So you're working with the youth quite a bit. You worked with them in New York and Miami, here in Detroit. What are some of the things that you find that when you're like working with folks they missing out on? Like what are some things you can let us know we should really be mindful of? Words from the pro.
When you think about some like some of the kids in the community, I'm always mindful of working with the youth and the communities because I think that gives them a different look, right?
Mm-hmm.
They see a chef, that looks like them. It gives them, opportunity to see a whole different light. Because, us growing up, you just saw basketball players, police, doctors, nurse, drug dealer, right? That was the path, And so for me to make it out as a chef and it can inspire and be around kids and show them, culinary arts is a way of life. It teaches you, time management, functionality, how to wear a uniform, how to cook and take care of yourself. And, I think people always think of like cooking as just, all right, I'm just gonna cook a meal, but no, it's so much more, that they gives you life skills. And so I think that's one of the reasons I teach kids how to cook because it gives you a bigger outlook on life other than just, making a cheeseburger. Right?
Yeah.
So
life skills is important.
yeah, no, I mean, that's
Very important.
If you think about cooking, those are. Cooking is one of them,
It sounds simple though, but
yeah, no.
I feel like school don't really teach you like much life skills growing up like that.
Like, no, you got, they took out home ec. So what do kids do now?
How do you feel
they learn?
about that?
Man,
You still got home ec down in Florida?
not really. Like they have some schools have culinary,
It shows too, though.
programs. But the traditional home ec where you learn how to bake, where you learn how to, make brownies, make cookies, the essential just biscuit recipe, how to hold a knife, what's the right knife, what is a cup, what is a measuring spoon.
Yeah.
Kids don't know that anymore. Like, like what is it? How many ounces to a cup? Average kid couldn't tell you that. Like they'd go Google it on their phone. So we just live in that world. But I think being that we live in this whole cell phone and Instagram and all this stuff world, it just makes you not connected to life anymore, right? And so I just always like, let me get kids back to the basics. And the way I do it is through food, and I think this is really important because one just gives them a different look, gives them a different opportunity, and just shows them like, oh, mate, I don't have to be pigeonholed or going to college and being this. I could really be a chef. I could get some money. I can get out here and start cooking. I can be a restaurant manager. I can be a dishwasher. I can be a restaurant owner. It's just so much more than it's just cooking. Especially here in Detroit now, being that, Detroit's kind of, going in that lane to be a food mecca, is important.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely, it is. And one of the things, too, with Detroit, too, is even though Detroit is a food mecca, I think you said it best earlier, there are so many things and so much history. We didn't talk about the third book, right?
No, not yet.
Yeah, so segueing into that, right?
I like that, though.
Right.
Why don't you tell us about what the third book is about?
Yeah, so I just wanted to tell the story and some of my story of how my family migrated from the South to Detroit, right? And what happened during that time, what kind of recipes did they bring with them? What kind of traditions that came with it? We just always tell the story of music, in Motown, but, Detroit was already rolling before that, right? So I wanted to, kind of
people
tell.
came to Detroit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So, but I wanted to tell the story, how and why, because like you think of if you've been on a road trip with your grandmother in Detroit going back down south, there was a box of chicken in the shoebox, fried chicken in the shoebox and biscuits. It wasn't no stopping on the side of the road and ordering food. It's like, all right,
You're right, though.
that we driving down and the same way coming back. So I wanted to tell some of those stories and hear, from different chefs that's been here doing the work, that's had boots on the ground a long time. I wanted to talk to and tell the story of like how urban farm, everybody's like, oh, all these urban farms are starting to happen in the city of Detroit. And that's become a big thing in the last couple of years. But when I was growing up in Detroit, we had a backyard with a farm already.
There was a lot of people
my grandmother's, growing collard greens, tomatoes,
My grandparents,
okra.
too.
We had chickens, and we grew up on Grand River and Monte Vista. So, like, it wasn't no, bandit lots downtown, midtown, and all these other areas on the east side to grow farms. No, we did it right in our backyard. So I wanted to tell some of those stories and traditions as well. And then, you had these chefs that's now here in Detroit that migrated, like myself, came back, and it's kind of doing this whole new food renaissance. And I want to talk to, some of the chefs like yourself to ask, why you came to Detroit and kind of get some of those chefs some light to kind of speak to, why they came to Detroit. And just more importantly, man, just really telling the story of how Detroiters were always strong through transition of migration from the South to, to the city going bankrupt to now this whole thriving city now. It's kind of just talking through it through food.
Absolutely.
So.
And it is good too because honestly, I was gonna make a red leprechaun and a phoenix joke, but considering the history you're speaking of,
Right.
it would be a joke to reference that type of joke too. There's a lot more history to Detroit outside of red leprechauns.
For sure.
So,
And that's kind of like, I didn't want to be, cheesy and be like, oh, we start talking about all this fun stuff that's happening in Detroit now. But let's be real. Like, Detroit was a meat and potatoes town. Everybody worked the plant. Everybody went home and cooked dinner every night. On the weekends, you probably went out, but you didn't have 5-star restaurants. And you had Michelin-starred chefs, and, it wasn't that elevated food like that. But it was good food. You knew where to go get good food at. You knew, how to
get you a burger and Nemo.
Right. But now you have all this amazing stuff that's happening. And so I'm just like, all right, well, let's get back to the base. Let's talk about that. And then let's bring it forward to what we have to now in this whole new Detroit, I guess, if you call it that.
Absolutely. Well, at the end of the day, right, Detroit's Detroit. There's plenty of opportunities, and for a city that's on its way to being 70% people of color, we're gonna sit here and continue to properly represent and do things.
Absolutely.
So you want to shout out a team member? You said you got the team with you. Like what? Who's your who would you say is your ace?
My ace. I got a few, man. Chef Lance, he's, definitely one of the ones that, been with me since I got back from River Bistro to now. Dave Rudolph, our PR guy, he's been, with us and really helped kind of push this whole, helping market and strategize. All the cashiers, man, like, especially at Coop, is important because they're the front, they're the first ones on the line to talk with a guest. And so they do really well. Ray, to Michelle, to Twin, like, just got some good team members, And then my family, man, like my family's really been a strong support. Everybody, all my family in Detroit, they come out every week and support. Some of them work with my uncle, works as a dishwasher there. So we just got, just a good team of people and good support. And I think that's just really going to help get to the next level. Onboarding a new project and, 3 new projects all at one time this year is a lot, but, to have a strong support system is good.
Man, that's the signs of a good leader, though. Like,
Yeah.
he asked you, name your star player. Remember, they named the whole squad. So I don't have star players, man. I got a squad.
And
for
that's
real.
what it takes, because you can't do it by yourself, right? And then people are like, oh, chef, you're the star. No, everybody, because some days I don't even cook, Like, I just sit back and just let them kind of do their thing and just kind of help manage sometimes. But sometimes I get in there and have to, get on their ass and get in there too, So, but, that is the signs of a good leader, and that's one of the things I kind of, would like to get better this year is like just leading and kind of relinquishing some of the responsibilities of myself all day. Because, sometimes we just get into that creative mode where we think we got to do it all. And so leading on your team a little more is important.
What's I wanted to ask you, when you go out and do your shopping at home, do you do it the same way as when you're getting your shopping list done for the restaurant?
Yes and no.
It's an interesting question.
So, like, when
I want to know, too.
when I'm shopping for the restaurant, I'm more on that creative, like, all right, let's buy what we need, but what we're going to have for special. If there's some microgreens, let's buy that. If we're going to have some nice heirloom tomatoes, let's get those. And I still like to shop because I just like to window shop and pick out what I want, right? Especially because I'm doing it for specials or whatever. When I'm shopping for home, I'm just like, well, I better put something in the refrigerator because ain't nothing in here in a month, right? And I'll buy stuff and it end up normally in the freezer because, like, as a chef, you're really home. And when I'm at home, I just buy stuff that's quick, right? And then, but so I am shopping, buying those tomatoes, and I always got to have the big 5, I guess I'll call it. Tomatoes, onion, some kind of salad, a half a chicken or a whole chicken that I can just break up how I want to do it, piece of fish, and like some yogurt.
So is that what you consider fast food? Like,
Yeah.
'cause I'm over here thinking like you pulling out a piece out the freezer or something.
No, like, it's like, all right, I'm gonna throw, I'll break chicken breast down, pound it down, and saute that down. If it takes more than 10 minutes, 5-10 minutes, I don't want to do it. Make a salad,
okay.
Throw some, dressing on it, and call it a day.
But you just remember too, right? Like Chef Max is 5-10 minutes. He took like 10 years to make it. So that
Yeah, that's what I'm like curious. Like, 5 or 10 minutes probably would took me an hour.
Yeah, no. It's
I mean, then here,
it's a little different. No, but I just like, on Sundays I like to just have people over and cook. I like to have people over every day if I could. I just like like cooking and entertaining. So.
Now, I do want to ask, what's the difference between all of that and then when you were doing private chefing?
Not much difference, right?
Okay.
Because, being a personal chef, man, it's kind of like being at your house. Like, you're at that person's house every day, so that becomes like your kitchen. Every time I'm a personal chef for somebody, it's like, oh, this is my house, but don't go in chef kitchen, right? So people automatically say that, right? And so the client be like, "Oh, that's your kitchen. We don't want to come in our kitchen." Like, chef, can I get some milk? Well, it's your damn house. It's your milk, But they be like, so, like, oh, chef is territorial of it, and they just think that, But
Excellent.
yeah, it's great. It's great. Like, yeah, don't come in here. But
I was gonna say, it sounds like I have no complaints from
yeah,
you.
no, but it's always fun to do that. But when you're being a personal chef, man, you're babysitting, you're socializing, you're talking to the client, you're being a counselor. They come home and they have an issue or they going through it. Like you're talking to them while you're cooking. Same thing you would do when your friends came over. So.
I'm gonna sound like a bartender.
Right. You're bartending. Somebody's asking you to squeeze, a drink or whatever. So, it's that. So you're entertaining and cooking. So that's why everybody can't be a personal chef, because it's a little more than just cooking.
You had to make the drinks too, like.
Sometimes
they
like
kind of did their own thing with that.
No, sometimes they'll be like, "Hey, chef, can you open a bottle of wine?" Or, can you make us a cocktail?
Okay.
And like it's nothing crazy, but. They do ask, if you're getting paid to be a somebody personal chef and they paying you that much, they think you're at the beck and call, So that's the only downside of being a personal chef. Like, you get a call at 2 a.m. to come make an omelet. Well, if you stand in the house, you better get try to make that omelet, because it's going to be a rough breakfast or a rough lunch the next day if you didn't do it, So, that's why some clients, are notorious for that kind of stuff. I won't put no names out there, but it's that's the challenge of being a personal chef. Like, damn, all right, when I'm off, but no, you always on call to them.
It's a no.
Nah, I'm gonna need that omelet.
Yeah, and it's
I know it's 2:30 and I'm drunk, but I need that omelet.
Or like they'll say, "Hey, we want this for lunch," and then you start making that, then they walk in and be like, "Oh no, I want this." Well, what the hell I'm gonna do with all this food now?
Oh, that would have crushed me.
Yeah, no, I always,
The first time that happened to me too was such a. I don't think my brain was processing.
Right. You're like, what? I just cooked. You asked me to cook.
I just made this food. You want me to? Right. So what am I doing with this?
Yeah, no, that's
later.
That'd be the hard part. Like, oh, y'all tripping, But it's fun, man. If I could do it again, I would later on in my career. After the restaurants and all that stuff, I would, go back to being a personal chef.
Yeah. I feel like I'm too old for it. I would need to be like right at 18, 19.
You gotta have the energy, huh?
But a lot of chefs do that in their career. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
they get 50, 60 years old and they go, you know what? I want to be a personal chef for somebody in the Hamptons.
Right.
I want to go be a personal chef for somebody in South Beach or South of France and, on a yacht, where...
That might be a little easy. They might not call you at 2 a.m. now.
Yeah, no, I mean, cause like, yeah, you know, the times I've went out to the Hamptons and been, personal chef with guys that got real long money, they're cool. It's one meal a day or 2 meals a day, and it's easy stuff, It'd be the rappers and athletes and, that they just go over the top, it's like, golly, you really gotta, you don't have to be this way.
They send it back with this, I'm gonna need that 13-course meal.
You're right, yeah, no.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, hey, Chef, it's been great.
Oh, man, thanks for having me. It's been fun, yeah. Anytime, let me know. We'll come through and we'll do some food and have some a little more interactive next time.
Yeah, absolutely. Chef Max, you've been great. You've for those who don't know, Chef Max came in on a fill-in. He was watch up with us, but excellent show, even better than some of our main shows, I'd say. So, we appreciate you on here so much. For those of you who don't know, you want to support Chef Max, you can do a couple of things. I would always say, to support your friends who are in the restaurant industry, buy all of their non-restaurant products first. Prioritize those. So get the books, all that. Then come into the restaurant and get the food, But
or you can do all at one time.
All at once.
You're doing everything.
Yeah, you come down and get the book and
get
everything.
spices, get it all.
Yeah.
Get it all. All right, and then how do we follow you on social media?
Is at Chef Max Hardy on all social media platforms. The website is www.chefmaxcel, MAXCEL, Hardy.com. And then Coop Detroit and all that good stuff. So.
Okay, and then what are the names of your books?
Cooking with Amari is the first one, and then Marley Coffee Cookbook, Stir It Up. It's a really dope book, coffee infused with Rohan Marley, Bob Marley's son. So good gifting book. Yeah,
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Chris Connections,
Shout out.
Ellen.
Chris too cool.
I'm trying to be.
Me and Chris will have a
We'll see you
sex
next
show.
time.